welcome to a very special episode of XenoChat. I am Tyler, one of the co-hosts, along with Justin.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode.
And our special guest this episode is returning guest Robin.
It's just me.
Just Robin.
Only Robin.
We're glad you're here.
I'm glad you didn't leave us. Jeez.
Please don't leave us.
I won't leave you guys.
Oh. Yeah, as I said, today is a special episode. This is basically our Season 2 finale, because I'm hoping by the time that this is posted, this should be our 2-year anniversary episode. So, 2 years of XenoChat.
And no, there won't be any DVD releases.
I mean, that wouldn't make sense. Though we know that what the special features are. We've already agreed on special features.
Huh.
Oh no.
Well,
we decided, bad fic reading would be in our special features, or / Patreon rewards.
One of these days. But please subscribe to our Patreon. We don't have one yet. But anyway, so today's episode is actually going to be kind of a roundtable review of Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, which is the new epilogue that was added to the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. But before we get into that, we'll just go into a little bit of news. So speaking of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Nintendo released the sales for the game, and it within its first month, it earned $1.32 million in sales. So congratulations, Monolith Soft.
Well, it's not $1.32 million, just 1.32 million units.
Oh, my bad. 1.232.
So just multiply
My
that by
bad.
60.
Anyway,
but yeah, it's selling really well. Like, it's crazy to think that a remake of a game like Xenoblade can essentially outsell itself like that. I don't think the original version sold that amount.
It's certainly not in the US, where it didn't even have, I don't even think we got 1 million units.
Yeah, I don't think... I think the numbers for that were much lower. But yeah, it's crazy to see that this is selling as well as it is. At this point, it's not too far behind Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah,
but I know a lot of people who jumped in at Definitive Edition, so that's really good. Like, I'm hearing people who have never played Xenoblade pick this up and say, wow, this is really good. One of my close friends, I've been trying to get him to play Xenoblade for a long time, and he kind of he tried to get into it, but it just didn't interest him. But he picked up Definitive Edition. He even bought the Special Edition because he just said, screw it, I'll buy it. Justin talks about it all the time. Maybe I should pick it up. And then he bought it, and then he was texting me. He was just like, this is really good. I'm really into this. I can't believe it. Like, I really like the characters. I like the story. So I think it's bringing people into the series, which is great. And I think this game is going to help Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torna and possibly X. I think a lot of people are going to be curious about checking out those games after playing Definitive Edition. I mean, it seems like those other games are selling out a bit on other sites too. It might just be that they're out of print, but I also like to think that people who bought Definitive Edition are going back and checking out some of the other games too.
Yeah, and hopefully that'll encourage Nintendo to... Oh, go on.
I was going to ask, I thought you had said that 2 had sold out, but it sounds like it's just speculation.
Yeah, I'm not seeing...
Was out of print,
Yeah, I think it might be out of print, because, it did come out in 2017, so I don't know if maybe they're just running low on those copies, but, prices for it online seem to be going up a bit, at least from, Amazon and sites like those, but I'm sure you can still find it, on eBay. I don't think it's gotten, ridiculously expensive. It's just, it might be a little bit more difficult to find a copy these days. Just slightly.
Well, hopefully this will encourage Nintendo to do some reprints.
Yeah, I would love for them to do that. Love for them to reprint the second game. Love for them to reprint Torna. I think Nintendo hopefully they learned a very valuable lesson in what happens when you actually give the game a chance. and market it.
Yeah. And if you want to get Xenoblade 2 on eBay, it's still available at reasonable prices.
Yeah, I had a feeling
That's
eBay
good.
still wasn't ridiculous yet. It's not like retro games right now, which those are just skyrocketing left and right.
Yeah, those are definitely out of print.
But still, I'm glad that it's doing well. I'm glad that many of you are picking it up, and hopefully many of you are enjoying it. I actually just bought a copy of the European limited edition. I found one on eBay. Somebody was selling it for a rather reasonable price, and I was like, you know what? I really want that. I really want that record. So I bought it just for that, basically. And
$200 record.
I didn't pay that much. A little less.
Oh, okay. $150 record.
But it's still like really nice. It's a gorgeous set. Like, oh my goodness, I did not expect it to be as nice as it was. The poster is huge. The steelbook is gorgeous. Yeah, they really did a great job with it. But what's interesting about it is the art book isn't a hardcover like the one in our limited edition set. I thought that was kind of interesting right there.
Nice. Yeah, I'm super jealous. That set looks so nice.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, with that said, I guess we can get into our little roundtable review. Just first and foremost, this will contain spoilers for, well, the base game and for Future Connected. Listener discretion is advised. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. I know I waited until I beat the base game, but you guys, you finished it first, right?
Yeah, I jumped right into Future Connected. I was like, you know what? I cannot trust anybody. This is going to get spoiled like crazy. So I wanted to just hop in there, play those games, play the game, and then just like that way I'll know everything that's going on and I won't get spoiled by anybody. And thankfully I had rewatched cutscenes from Xenoblade 1 recently, so the story was still relatively fresh in my mind, which is good, because like if you don't know the Xenoblade 1 story, don't jump into Future Connected. Don't do that.
Oh, no.
Play the base game first, and then go into Future Connected. I know it's available from the get go at the start menu, but just don't jump into there.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. Also, the main character of it is Melia, which is mostly notable in that Melia kind of plays very distinctly. And if you're not used to playing Melia, it can be a bit jarring to have the game suddenly be like, here, go for it. You know how to use Melia, right? Great, wonderful, have fun.
Yep, and you even get like some of her abilities that she gets later on in the game too, from the get-go.
Yeah, you start off at level 60, so she has all her level 60 abilities. I just kind of powered through it and was just determined to, play it. So I was like, I'll figure this out. I don't care. I'm bad at games anyway. There will be no difference here.
Yeah, Shulk was pretty much just along for the ride.
Yeah, Shulk was just kind of there.
Just to have a familiar face. I do like his redesign, though.
Yeah, he looks much casual. He
Yeah.
honestly seemed much more comfortable in his own skin, which was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also really like how the Minato looks in that one, too. Or rather, whatever weapon that he has.
Isn't it called, like, the Minato Rex or something?
Something like that, yeah. It has a new name. I forget the exact name they called it. But he can no longer use Vision in Future Connected, which was kind of the thing that made me not want to play as him as much. I was like, well, I really like the Vision mechanics in Xenoblade in the base game, so I was like, oh, well, he doesn't have that, so why am I going to play as him?
I just stopped playing as him because I'm like, wait, you're not the main dude. Go away.
Yeah.
This isn't your story.
But I happen to really like Melia's playstyle, so it was alright for me.
Yeah, once I remembered that the trick is that you just keep using lightning, it was good.
But I guess before we go into that more, the overall story, it is an epilogue. It takes place a year after the end of the base game. Basically, Melia and Shulk are visiting the Bionis shoulder, which seems to be, like, the only part of the Bionis left that's just kind of floating there. And they're
I think it was, like, I thought that it was, like, the Bionis was kind of slowly collapsing, or, like, the head had collapsed, and now like, they were really there for Alchemoth, which had been at the head, but now was at the shoulder.
Well, bits of the shoulder is starting to float and rise up.
Okay.
And they're going to, and they go over there to check that out.
That was
and also
because it was because they had heard rumors that Alchemoth was in the shoulder.
Yeah, they were going to go find Alchemoth, or rather, the remains of Alchemoth.
Right.
Yeah, and then on the way, they are shot down by a mysterious beam of energy coming from Alchemoth, and they crash land on Biona's shoulder. And thus begins their little adventure. Which I think
it's a relatively, like, straightforward thing where they mention that they are hoping that they can cure the Telethia, but that isn't really why they're there. They're just kind of... It's sort of just to give Melia a sense of closure about Alchemoth.
Yeah, this whole story is mostly giving Melia closure, and also just giving her a happier ending.
Yeah, she went through so much loss in the base game. It was nice that that wasn't repeated in this.
Right.
Yeah, and they bring back characters like Tyrea, which I didn't expect to come back, to be honest. I was actually really surprised that they...
Oh, really? I felt that, like, once it was a Melia story, that the only person they could bring back was Tyrea.
Right. I just didn't think that they would actually do it. I kind of just figured, they probably just threw her to the wayside, but no, they did bring her back, and I was actually really happy with what they did with Tyrea. I think that was actually one of the stronger plot points in here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I was shocked that they brought back Teelan.
But, I mean, for Tyrea, I kind of forgot a lot about her, because you really don't get to know her too much in the first game, besides, like, an extra side quest that I failed to do. So I had to pop back into the main game and do that side quest before I continued Future Connected. But I'm glad I...
Yeah, that's right. You were like, wait, was I supposed to know more about Tyrea? And I'm like, yeah, there's this whole side quest, dude.
Yeah, I was like, didn't she try to kill Melia? Why are they, like, on good-ish terms right now? I'm confused. But I really liked how they handled Tyrea. I just wish she had been a party member.
Yeah.
Like, she gets two of the quiet moments, and it's like, if she gets quiet moments, she should be a party member. Which quiet moments replace the heart-to-hearts from the main game.
And they're voiced.
Yes, and they are voiced. And no anxiety about making wrong decisions.
Just a nice, quiet moment.
I always save right before a heart-to-heart.
Yes.
I know in Xenoblade 2, I would say, what I would do is I would save and I would actually see both choices. Because, like, since it's voice acted, I was like, well, I kind of want to hear what each of the outcomes are, so.
No, I just blindly go into it and just die. You know, it would have been nice if, like, you had Shulk initially just to be like, here's your familiar face. And then, I don't know, Shulk gets hurt or he has to leave and go back to space as people need him. And then Tyrea replaces him.
Oh, that would be great.
Because, like, I have nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with Shulk. He's a good boy. He's a good character. I like him. He didn't do anything or add anything there.
Yeah, just... I guess he motivated Melia. if you really want to, like,
didn't even
give him purpose.
He was just, like, a happy guy who just seemed to finally not be stressed all the time.
Yeah, his story came to a good conclusion in the main game, so... Yeah.
How about this? He's on vacation. That's what he's doing here.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's, like, on a working vacation. It's just he forgot to, like... bring work, so he keeps trying to make it, and it's like, no, Shulk, stop. You're not supposed to be here.
But I guess, like, the theme of family and siblings seems to be pretty strong in this one, since you got, obviously, Tyrea and Melia, but we have two new characters that are also siblings, Nene and Kino.
Yeah, Nene's the best.
Nene is the best. I was shocked at how well Nene was handled in this.
But
Kino was also
Kino's
good.
also very good.
And it's kind of crazy because like I know when they announced 2 Nupon that they were going to be the main party members. Not gonna lie, I kind of got nervous a bit. I was kind of just like, oh boy, we're gonna have 2 obnoxious Nupon in our party. But no, they're actually really great characters.
Yes.
And I think like the voice acting for both those characters were actually really good. Some of the best lines of the game come from those 2 characters.
Yeah.
They struck a really nice balance between the Nupon's quirkiness that, you know, we all know and them just being realistic and grounded, or at least grounded in this, in terms of Xenoblade.
Yeah.
They felt really, really great characters. They felt surprisingly real, if that makes any sense.
It felt more like the standard little Nopon quirks that are meant to make them cute were just kind of quirks and not aggressive, cute being shoved at you.
Yeah. That's a good way to
like,
put it.
Like, this isn't the greatest analogy, so it felt more like this is how they talk. They sound like this, rather than like this is a forced affliction.
Exactly. This is them doing it just because they're supposed to be the quirky, cute mascot characters.
I mean, I don't think Ricky was too bad about that initially, but I think like with Nene and Kino, they really found their stride with Nopon voices.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
And speaking of Ricky, he's not in the game, but he is mentioned a lot. And it's...
Nene and Kino, I don't think we said, are his kids. And what's really cute is that he apparently just brought Kino home one day and is like, this is your new brother. And all of his biological children were like, okay, new brother, great, wonderful, we love you.
Yeah.
And it does kind of put his huge family into a different light of, wait, how many others are adopted? How many others are just Ricky saw a lost Nopon child and said, this is mine now? Because we have the heart-to-heart with Shulk where he's just like, oh, Shulk, you don't have a family? Guess what? You're my son now.
Ricky is just such a great dad.
He is. And when they keep talking about him and all the things he says about like the original party, and it's so wholesome. Every time that like they mention Ricky, I literally went, aw.
Yeah, like so most Nopon use the biter, which Ricky used, and I think Nene also uses, but Kino isn't strong enough, and Ricky had the idea, we can make a shooter out of this one type of berry, and now more Nopon who want to fight can, and they could use ether rifles like my friend Charla used to do. And it's just so cute that he took so much from the original team and brought it back to share with everyone.
Yeah, which speaking of, like their movesets is very similar to the party members. Like Robin just mentioned, Kino has Charla's moves, so many of Kino's arts are Charla's arts, and Nene actually has a lot of Ryan's arts.
Which is, also just kind of nice that, like, the cute pink girl has is the tank.
Yeah.
She is the one who you're like, no, everyone, go hit her.
Yeah, and she can take a lot of damage, and she's also really strong, too. I use her a lot.
Yeah. My main team was Melia, Nene, and Kino. Shulk was just there to be arm candy, I guess. I don't know why he was there. Who's Shulk?
He's just there to look pretty. But yeah, Nene butts in a lot of cutscenes and just delivers, like, so much wisdom. It's nuts. You wouldn't think so, but, like, the amount of times that she's been there for Shulk, or, well, not so much Shulk, but rather Melia or Kino throughout the whole journey is just really, really great. Yeah. I love the one cutscene where she talks about why she's scared of climbing trees.
Yeah.
And it's like, you see that cutscene and you just start rooting for Nene. You're like, man, you're the best.
And then, like, Nene and Kino provided a really nice contrast since, as they did their adopted siblings who were like, but we're siblings. I don't know why you have to, like, put the descriptor of adoptive, like, this is my little brother, that's my big sister. And it just provided a nice contrast to Melia and Tyrea, where Melia's like, well, she's not really my sister, but I guess she's kind of, but not really. We don't really share parents, but we do share an older brother, but... And Nene's like, so that's your sister. I don't know why you're adding all of these words to that's my sister.
Oh yeah, that was a really good quiet moment. So we discuss another new character?
Which one of the great new characters?
Do we want to talk about Galgar, or do we want to wait on him?
We can talk about Saturday cartoon.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about. You see him, you think, yeah, you're going to betray us, and then he does.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got that.
You just see him and you're just like, look at this zealous-looking motherfucker, and then he betrays you, and you're like, wow, I am shocked.
Yeah, no idea that was going to happen.
But of course the game treats it like it's the biggest deal ever, so...
To the game's credit, at least, he's like, can I join your party? And Melly's like, no, how about you don't?
I mean, I thought he was kind of interesting as kind of like a reverse of like the Bionite order in the main game, how he wanted to emphasize like half-breeds or mixed breeds of the Hyentia and Homs. But he was just, I don't know, as you said, a bit too cartoony. And
the basic message of just kind of being like, look, it doesn't matter what race you're trying to push up. If you're trying to push up any race above any other, you're doing something a little wrong there, buddy.
Exactly.
But yeah, you see him and you're just like, I don't trust you. I held out for about 2 seconds of maybe they're trying to subvert expectations and he's going to be a really great guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not holding my breath. Because I held my breath for the entirety of Xenoblade to be like, no, Dixon's not going to betray me. He's fine.
Oh.
You'll never guess what happens in Xenoblade.
But yeah, he's one of the main antagonists, and yeah, like, there's really not a whole much to Galgar. You're gonna see the twist with him coming from a mile away. But, yeah, he's there.
You see the twist.
If you want an antagonist, there's your antagonist for the game.
Yeah, I guess the real antagonist would be the Fog King.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that, but...
Yeah, sorry. I was
no, it's okay.
Transition.
We could talk about the Fog King. The Fog King is like this weird, like, Masingo-looking thing that appears and just starts wrecking stuff, and people are trying to figure out, like, what even is the Fog King, and that's also the final boss of the game as well. And he has a really awesome battle theme.
Yeah, the music continues to be very good.
Mm-hmm. Do we even know what the Fog King even was?
Not really. I kind of took the Fog King to sort of be here's a sampler of what we might do with a future game, just so it doesn't come out of nowhere and could be connected to this game now.
Mm-hmm.
Without, like, doing anything solid that caused them to be like, well, now we're committed to making Xenoblade 3 look like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, just something where it's just like, this is a thing where if we make Xenoblade 3, it should touch on this.
Yeah, that's kind of what Future Connected feels like towards the end. Like, between that and then the infamous Telethia.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have all sorts of theories, and it doesn't help that there was that interview that came out that says something like, this is the future of the Xenoblade series, or something like that. And also the game's called Future Connected. So I know a lot of people went into this expecting some, like, crazy crossovers to happen in here, and and that's not at all what this game really does. And I personally never went into it expecting that. I was kind of just like, no, this is just an extra 20 hours for Xenoblade 1. But maybe a couple little Easter eggs here and there. But yeah, the Fog King, like Bot says, I think is kind of like a preview of a plot point that they may touch on later on. I know some people say that the Fog King kind of looks like the, what are they called? The weird monsters that you fight in the second half of Xenoblade 2. Wow, I am blanking on names right now.
I don't remember what they're called, but are you talking about, like, the deformed dead things? Because I was thinking that they looked like they would, if anything, have something to do with how Klaus was kind of half in mist. Like, I thought that was kind of the connection there.
Okay, the guys you fight in Morthra.
I kind of know which ones you're talking about, but I also can't remember the names. But
yeah, I can't remember the names either, and I couldn't think of Morthra for some reason.
Oh, no. But yeah, I thought that it was more so, if anything, kind of a connection to how Klaus is half shrouded in darkness and has the dark swirly mist. I thought, if anything, it would just be like an expansion on what's going on with Klaus being in 2 dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, really the way I view Future Connected is I feel like a lot of people heard that it was going to exist and were viewing, like, let's say Xenoblade Chronicles was a beautiful, wonderful, like, entree, and they thought this was going to be dessert, and instead it was a second helping of the entree. It's still good, it's still wonderful, but it's, more of the same. It's fine.
Yeah. And also, like, they didn't need to give this to us.
No.
Exactly. They could have just given us the main game.
Yeah.
Plus,
so I take this as, like, just an extra little thing for the fans. And it's perfectly fine for that.
Exactly. It's a second helping of a perfectly good meal.
But yeah, I know a lot of people are coming up with all sorts of theories about what the Fog King is, what the Telethia is. People say that the Telethia is actually the Telethia from Xenoblade Chronicles Cross. So, I don't know. There's all sorts of crazy game theories out there.
The Telethia is actually the way of existence. Any side quests that people found very notable?
Oh, there's some fun ones. Thad. The dude who looks... I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but he looks just like Jin Uzuki to me. Like, when you zoom in on his face, it's like I guess it's like the glasses. His hair is quite a bit shorter, but like, I looked at him, I'm like, is that Jin? And I think I even posted it on Twitter. I was like, Jin, is that you? How'd you get here? That dude, he's like trying his best to impress Tyrea, even though he knows he's got no shot. We all know he got no shot. He's all like, yeah, I need these ingredients because I'm gonna make this risotto for Tyrea. And then we're all like, dude, she's gonna like chuck that risotto into your face. like, why are you even bothering with this? But he is pretty cool because he does make that giant flan for that one Napon. And then
I couldn't make a flan that big.
Yeah. And then they eat it single-handedly, and I'm like, how do you just devour that thing?
Yeah, that flan was like 3 times.
The answer to that is probably...
I think they literally say it's 3 times its size. Yeah.
But flan is like a very light dish, so... Like, that Napon just condensed it all. It's now a very dense flan lump in his stomach. That, or, I mean, like, the alternative is through some means that I'll allow the audience to speculate on, the Napon was removing the flan as fast as it was consuming it. So I think we're gonna go with, like, the dense lump of flan that is in... Like, Napon, when they consume things, they are, like, super compacted in their gut. And that is how Napon eat giant flan. And also how dark matter is made. Napon are actually just Nibbler from Futurama. It's all connected.
Napon are just basically Kirby.
They're Kirby and Nibbler.
It's also funny to see Bana in Future Connected.
Yeah, I forgot that there was a Bana in the original game at all.
Same.
Yeah, this was actually my reminder. I was like, oh wow, Bana was in this. I mean, obviously it's not the same Bana as in Xenoblade 2, but
right.
It is weird to see them. Like, this Bana, what was he trying to do? He was trying to, like, make, like, an energy drink or something?
Yeah, he was making, like, a drink that people would be addicted to so he could get a bunch of money. But I loved the name of the drink.
Yeah, Bana, triple X or triple cross.
Because it's just so... That's what energy drinks are named. Like,
Yeah.
I saw that and I'm just like, yep, that's it. That's an energy drink. You did it. You set out with a goal and you made it happen.
It's a very edgy name.
But then, like, I forgot, didn't it, like, make people drunk or something? Or it at least made the Hyentia kind of behave like they were drunk?
Hold on. Because I know I had a screenshot about that. Didn't it, like, I think it had different effects on each of them. Or maybe I'm remembering that wrong.
I know, like, there's, like, one Hyentia that you see, and he's just kind of flailing around, and you talk to his girlfriend, and she's just like, yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but that girlfriend also kept saying, like, wow, whatever Bon is selling, it clearly is amazing. He just said it was amazing.
Okay, yeah, okay, I got that wrong. What I was thinking of the one. It was a Machina who was trying to like create a cure for it. He was trying to.
Yeah.
That's
trying to like reverse.
Yeah, trying to
effects.
reverse it.
I did really like the Machina in the game. That they kind of showed, yeah, people kind of haven't really forgiven the Machina, but some people are like, oh, it really wasn't your fault. You know, no hard feelings here. I'm a person who really likes what happens after stories, so this addressed that. It was, here's a society trying to rebuild, and then they had the two groups of Hyantia split, because some of them were like, no, I cannot accept Machina. No, I'm moving away then. And I thought it was nice that they left rather than they kicked out the Machina. And it was still nice when, you know, Melia has her speech going, things are different now, we all have to work together. We can't keep holding old grudges or things will never progress.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was so nice.
Yeah, the dynamic between the Homs, the Machina, and the Hyantia was really, really fascinating because it was nice to see how things progressed after the end of the game.
Okay.
Any other quests that you guys really enjoyed?
Well, there's that one love triangle, so to speak.
Yeah, where you think it's a love triangle between the Homs woman and the male Machina and the male Hyantia, where they keep going, what? No, I don't have a crush on her. What are you talking about? But then you find out, no, they really don't have a crush on her. What are you talking about? Like, she had just lost her husband, and they are just legitimately worried about her and want to make sure she's doing okay. And Xenoblade had, like, two different, here, resolve this love triangle side quests, so when you see that, you're already, like, bracing yourself for what's going to come. And then nothing happens, and it's just a relief of, oh, there wasn't a love triangle here. These were just two men who were genuinely concerned about the well-being of this woman, and at the end she goes, it's so nice that people still care about me, and I need to remember to not take that for granted. Like, yes, I miss my husband, but there are other people who are important to me.
I'm so glad it wasn't another Alchemont situation with that one dude there. Ugh, I hated that quest.
Oh, where you had to go back between his
where you had to pick the girl for him?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then in Colony 9, you have, like, the girl who's like, I made a love potion, give it to someone, I don't know. And then you can either give her the guy who likes her, or give it to the guy who she likes, but is actually a jerk. There are a lot of quests like that, and there shouldn't be. There should instead be none. Because then we also, of course, have the meta love triangle where you have Shulko with Fiora, who he's loved since childhood, or Melia, who he just met, or Rhine, who's the more interesting option. Speaking of Rhine, like, they really don't say much about the old party besides Ricky. Like, you don't find out how they're doing until the very end, and then you still don't really find out how they're doing. You just see that they're there and okay.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that we get some mention of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, mention of previous cast was a thing that I felt was very missing.
That said, and that kind of relates to what you were just talking about, I am very glad that Melia doesn't show any signs of still having feelings for Shulk.
Mm-hmm.
That all kind of just got, like, shut down. I'm very glad they didn't, like, fall back on that at all.
Yeah, I think I saw something on Twitter about people being like, well, wait, why aren't we mentioning this anymore? And it's like, because she's over it, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that's a good thing. And I know when this game was coming out and they showed Shulk and Melia together, a lot of people on Twitter were like, Melia won, LOL. And it's like, no, she didn't.
No.
She didn't, because Shulk is more than just a prize.
She moved on, and good for her.
And moving on is a victory in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a thing where if they had addressed it, it would have felt like, it's been a year, you're not over this?
Exactly. I think they handled that whole love triangle really well overall, and I'm very glad that they don't really talk about it in Future Connected.
the only degree to which I almost wish they did is just a mention to how Fiora's doing, and that
would have been nice. Like, just Shulk talking about, oh yeah, like, Fiora, she's alright. That'd have been cool.
Yeah, like, just saying, like, oh, Fiora's doing this while I'm here. Ryan and Charlotte are doing this. Dunban's doing this.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
I don't know what Ricky's doing, because he's in a different village. And then we have Nene and Kino to fill in what Ricky's doing.
Yeah, at least we know they are alive and well. But that's about it.
Yeah. And Vanguard is somehow also alive and well, which I did not expect.
I always keep forgetting he survived the base game.
Yeah, apparently he did. I honestly forgot that too, just because he stops being at all in any way important or mentioned after, like, the first 2 chapters.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you're still here, Vanguard. I forgot about you. It's like, hey, Vanguard, I thought you were dead.
His mustache saved him. Let's see. Well,
there was that side quest where we learned that Shulk doesn't know how to use a camera.
Yes, that side quest was so weird. It's just like I was shocked that Shulk was just like, what is this? How do I camera? And I'm like, bro, like, how much technology do you work with? And you're telling me you don't know how to use a camera?
Yeah, it was one of those moments of, like, you did schizotech real bad. It should have just been like, oh, I know how to use a camera, but I'm not great with photography. Like, it's not going to be the best shot. It's going to be snapshot quality. Like, not, what camera? How? What is this?
Shulk's the reason why
Actually, I have a screenshot of Shulk saying... yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a screenshot right now. That's from Shulk, and it's like a thought bubble that says, photos, huh? Wow, I haven't seen any of those since I was at Dunban's house.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They have photos. They are not that uncommon. Or, I guess they are, but they're color photos, and by the time color photography was a thing, cameras were more common, and...
Oh, okay. Shulk tinkered with cameras. He says, a camera, well, I've never actually used one properly, but I have tinkered with them a bit.
He's tinkered with his junk in the backyard.
Just, oh my goodness.
But yeah, like, I mean, I guess Shulk probably wouldn't be much of a photographer. Maybe Melia wouldn't be either. I feel like Nene should just be like, what the heck, Shulk? I know how to use a camera. I take a picture of my family every day. Also, very disappointing that it wasn't like you actually had to take pictures.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you could do that.
I was so ready. Like, I got that question, my thumb moved automatically to the camera button. Like, let's go. We got this. And then, no, just go over there.
Yeah, the next Xenoblade game should have a picture mode. Do you like what they did in Zelda, where you can, like, take pictures and selfies of yourself?
Yes. I love that.
Oh, they have that in Astral Chain, too, don't they?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so it's actually Xenoblade's the outlier here. The other fun characters that we got were the Pawn Spectres.
Yes.
I guess the little Pawn Spectres. And that's one of the new gameplay elements. You can find a whole bunch of them throughout the world, and eventually they'll help you in battle. So you have, like, this big army of little Napon running around with you.
It was so
and then they could do, like, these crazy attacks, too.
It was so ridiculous to have, like, 12 Napon trailing behind you. It's like...
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
Yeah, it's great.
I kept calling them fuzzy lemons and crying about them. I love that, like, they all had a sentence worth of personality.
Yes, that was awesome.
It was wonderful. They were great. They were silly, and I loved them.
Yeah, it was that side quest.
I will say that, like, I was expecting a bit more of a different gameplay mechanic from them, only because people kept, or, like, the reviews kept saying, like, new gameplay for this mode, and then, nah, not really.
Yeah, the Pawn Spectres is probably one of the main new additions to the combat. I think what happened was, like, we got spoiled in Torna. So we expected, like, a crazy overhaul of the battle system like Torna was. Well, I mean, I guess Torna isn't that big of an overhaul, but it does streamline a lot of things, and it does add the whole tag team thing where you could like swap between the driver and a blade, which was awesome. But unfortunately, we don't get something like that with this.
Yeah, the Pawn Specters basically replaced chain attacks, which I kind of miss those, but yeah, it's still a fun side quest.
I enjoyed it. Also, it was like, since I played Future Connected first, it was my first looking at the new map system and how they worked with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, holy shit, this is so great. Like, they give me a nice little path I can follow. It includes that I might have to go around things. This is wonderful.
Oh.
So I think that might have been most of my warm feelings towards the Pawn Specters, that I just loved the map.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked them. It was just like, I have an army of fuzzy lemons behind me. This is wonderful. And they all had different, like, ideas about the leader. I think if I didn't like anything, it was that they were all yellow, when, as we know, Napon come in many colors.
Yeah, it would have been nice if, like, you can basically, like, differentiate between them, because they look very similar.
Yeah.
I thought they looked identical.
They probably are identical.
You remember that part where it flashes when Nene, like, basically tells Shulk that she had met him before, and it just flashes back to his kids, and they all look the same. It's like, wow, they go through quite the growth spurt at like 50.
Apparently the Pawn Specters never did.
I guess so.
They all have baby face syndrome.
But I also think that's like that they partially did that to troll you too, because like I'm sure if like people saw that cutscene, they would play the original game and try to look for Nene in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, they could have recolored some of his kids and just been like, here, these ones are blue, these ones are more orange. But every single Napon child you see ever in any game is yellow, so, you know, it works out. Where it's like, look, we're all yellow, because apparently we're blending in with omelets until a certain age.
Did you two actually finish the quest to get the shrooms?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta fight that big monster, and it's actually a really hard fight, too.
I think I did something to, like, kind of cheese. I think I lowered the difficulty.
Oh yeah,
for
I was gonna
that
say
one,
you played on easy.
Yeah.
I'm just here for story. I'm okay if my fights are a bit easier. Though I will say that when I switched it to easy mode, I always felt like the game was insulting me. Like, I didn't need it this easy, bro. You could have made it a little harder. It's fine. But hey, I needed it easy enough to get through that boss. Yeah,
that's one of the issues I have with it, is that it gets to a point where you overlevel many of the enemies. Like, okay, so I think up to a certain point, you no longer fight enemies that are higher level than you, other than that boss and the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
And the only real way to grind late game is to basically use expert mode. Mm-hmm. So use expert mode, and I think like the way it works is when you're using expert mode, you want to lower your level so that when you're fighting enemies, you end up getting more EXP. So that when you turn it off, the EXP pool that you have ends up being bigger than if you were to just fight them normally. And it's like that's such a roundabout and long way to grind. I don't really think that was the best way to go about doing late game grinding in Future Connected. So that's probably my biggest issue with the game, is I kind of wish there were more high level monsters for you to actually grind on.
Yeah, because it's like, alright, I'm not gonna like spend this much time grinding or this much effort, so I'll put it on easy just so I can get to the end.
And also, kind of crazy that if you lose against the final boss, it takes you back to the title screen.
I guess I didn't do that. I don't know. Or it's been a long enough time that I've forgotten if I did that.
Yeah, because
No, I must have lost.
They did the exact same thing in Xenoblade 2, didn't they?
I don't know. By the time I fought the last boss, I was way over leveled.
Oh. Fair.
Which I'm trying not to do this time when I play Xenoblade, because when you're over leveled and you fight the last boss in Xenoblade, you miss out on a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna run into that issue because like this playthrough in Definitive Edition, I'm actually like bothering to do most of the side quests and the Colony 6 stuff. So my characters are pretty high level right now.
Yeah.
They're way over level 60, and I'm not even at the end yet.
Oops, you're gonna miss out on optional dialogue.
Yeah.
You just get there and you defeat the final boss in like 3 hits, and you're like, create a world with no fucking needs for gods, you fucking pansy!
It is kind of satisfying though when you get to the final boss, you beat them like really easily. I remember a while back, I was playing the first Shadow Hearts game, and there's some really crazy ways you can cheese the final boss in that, because there's some items that you can have where you can hit the judgment ring like multiple times in a row in any location, and then you could buff Yuri so that his attack hits like 4 times as strong as it normally would. And if you use a combination of a couple items, you can essentially have Yuri attack several times in a row at like 999 damage each and just tear down the boss in a couple turns. It's really funny.
Nice.
Anyway, what do you guys think about the music in Future Connected?
Amazing. So good.
I actually played it fairly quietly because I was on voice chat with people and I didn't want spoilers, so I played it in Japanese and also kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I missed out on a lot of any audio information from it, though the battle theme was amazing, and that's all I can distinctly remember.
Yes, the battle theme
What's really crazy about that battle theme is that, like, it's a long loop, so none of the battles, at least for me, lasted the full loop. So when I played through the game, I played through the entire game, and then one day I went on, like, YouTube and I listened to the battle theme, and then I heard this whole other half of the song that I never heard before. I'm like, whoa, this is all in here? They hid that.
Speaking of audio, though, how was the voice acting? Like I said, I played it in Japanese, so most of what I learned is that Shulk sounded much more generic shonen hero than I had been imagining him in Japanese.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the voice acting is pretty good. It's on par with the first game. Like I said before, I think the Noppon were really, really well done this time around. Like, they nailed Nana and Kino's voices.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I heard some of their voices when you were streaming. In case people are, like, going to call me a liar. I need to express that contradiction in my statement that I said their voices were fine and then just said I played it in Japanese.
Yep, I can hear the angry emails pouring in right now.
Yeah, the angry emails that are nitpicking everything I say.
Yeah, we finally
# cancel Robin.
Robin said that...
Cancel Robin 2020.
Oh, come now. You can come up with better reasons to cancel me.
I found, like, sometimes Melia sounded a little, I don't know, rusty, but I mean, it has been, like, almost a decade since she reprised this role, so but overall she still did a good job.
You know, it's funny you said that, because I remember the discourse over whether or not they got Jenna Coleman. People were, like, dissecting those trailers like crazy, like, yes. Oh my god, she said this one line slightly off, therefore it's not her. They got somebody else to sound like her.
Yeah, and even if they had, like, why won't you just wish the best for Jenna Coleman? Like, I want good things for her.
Yeah, like, people were going insane. Oh my goodness. But I'm glad that they got her back, because she does a great job, just like she did in the first one. She sounds great. Shulk sounds great. They all sound really good. Tyrea also sounds just as great as she did before, if not even a little bit better.
Since she actually has kind of more to do.
She's got more to do. A little bit. Yeah, definitely. Just more to do. So we get to see more sides of her.
Yeah,
and also, I think the lip syncing is a lot better in this one, too.
I had heard that they redid the lip syncing for the English version.
So yeah, it definitely shows, because it feels a lot tighter here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then again, bad lip syncing is such a staple of the Xeno series.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
Can you imagine if they redid Xenogears and fixed the lip
Oh my
syncing?
goodness.
Like, people would throw a fit.
Oh my goodness.
That would be...
Xenogears is so ridiculous with the lip syncing.
It's so bad.
But yeah, from in the audio front, definitive edition, not definitive edition. Future Connected. I can't think or speak right now.
You're fine.
Future Connected is really good. The music is absolutely great. A lot of tracks are from before. There's some returning tracks, but the new stuff is really, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Out of curiosity, have you been playing definitive with the, new revised soundtrack or the classic soundtrack? Because I've been playing it with, the revised...
I've been playing it with the new soundtrack as well.
Okay.
That's what I did when I played it.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds great, but I remember I have such fond memories of the old soundtrack that I haven't noticed, wow, this sounds so much better. It's just been this still sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I am. It all sounds really good. Both soundtracks sound great. I know there's people who will fight you to the death about how the original one is way better and superior, but I think they're both good.
Again, I still feel like people have better reasons to fight me to the death.
No, I don't think anybody will fight you on that.
I just feel that if they're going to fight me, come up with a better reason. Just if I'm going to be cancelled, come up with a better reason. So speaking of better reasons to cancel Robin, I wanted more giant lore, because we're in the home place of the giants, and I wanted more lore. I wanted more lore about giants. They kind of just go, oh, they lived here, they used levitation stone, moving on with our lives now.
Yeah.
I'm no, tell me more. You keep constantly almost having information about them, and I thought, here we are, finally in their home place. Tell me about their familial structure, their hopes, their dreams. Nothing. I'm gonna cry. Also, I would have liked literally honestly, what I was hoping for was just a single line from Shulk going, so this is where Dixon grew up, this is where he lived. That was all I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm just on a never-ending quest for more Dixon.
Well, I guess it would have been a little weird to kind of shove in some lore in what was essentially an epilogue, but I understand.
Yeah.
It could have been... I mean, they could have easily shoved in lore that just kind of never went anywhere. They had other lore that never goes anywhere in the main game. This would just be more of it. I've been saving every mention of giants in my current playthrough, mostly for fanfiction reasons. Entirely for fanfiction reasons.
You should write the wiki on Xenoblade Giants.
I feel like that exists. I'll go here. You keep talking about your favorite and least favorite things. I'll do a nice little Google search.
Alright, so I guess favorite things about Future Connected, the new Napon. They're great. Least favorite thing I mentioned before was the endgame grinding. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I would...
What about you, Tyler?
I'd probably agree with the Napon. I fell in love with them. I did not expect that at all. And just my negative is Tyrea should have been a party member. I mean, her relationship with Melia was so good in this. The development, but then most of that development was pushed into quiet moments. So the game made me fall in love with Tyrea when I didn't really feel much for her in the base game, but it's I wanted more Tyrea. So that's me.
Yeah. The character development for them is just really, really, really great overall.
It was, and that's why it's we needed more Tyrea.
Yes, we needed more.
It makes sense. It would have... I guess in some ways it would have been awkward for her to join you, since part of her quest was, that she was coming to terms with that she wasn't angry with Melia anymore.
Uh-huh.
So if she came with... It was a last member just for the final quest, it would have been nice.
Yeah.
And would have also fit, but at that point you'd just be really? Now I get her?
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know where they would have given her to. Unless they would have done something like what they did with Dixon and Alvis, just kind of have her in your party for one particular fight.
Yeah. Like, in Final Fantasy XII, they have a lot of, here's your fourth character who's just a guest, you can't do anything with them. And that's about the only way I could imagine Tyrea fitting in. But also that wasn't a system they have in Xenoblade, so... And yes, there already is a much more thorough wiki page for giants than I could have made.
Well, that's good to know.
It is.
Alright.
Doesn't tell me anything about, like, their familial structure, or... Actually, that's another thing. Like, Prison Island, based on the scale of everything, that's probably giant territory. But then, like, the aesthetic going on there, which is vaguely gothic, really didn't match the, like, ruins that we see on the shoulder. So... I'm just saying, how come I'm not one of the writers who does nothing but nitpick their giant lore?
Alright.
But yeah, basically I feel like overall, Future Connected was just a second helping of an already great meal.
That is a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's just more of the same, but that's fine.
Exactly.
Like, don't go into Future Connected expecting some crazy plot twist that's gonna connect all this series together and show how much of a mastermind Takahashi is. No. Just, this is a nice 15 to 20 hour little adventure. One final little thing with Shulk and Melia. And if you go into it expecting that, I think you're gonna have a great time. I had an awesome time playing this. You know, I guess I'm biased because I happen to really like Shulk and Melia, so, you know, this is all good for me. I really like the music. I just like playing and exploring the world of Xenoblade 1, and this just gave me more of that. So I really can't complain too much about it. And it doesn't take away from the main story either. So that's another thing. Like, they could have done some stuff where, like, oh, this suddenly, like, retcons something or ruins a plot twist from the first game. No, if anything, it makes the story better.
You didn't kill him at all.
What was that? Sorry.
Zanza's back. You didn't kill him.
Yeah, right? They could have done something like that, but no.
Thank goodness they didn't.
As for what the Telethia means and the Fog King, who knows? But honestly, I think it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's at best a little like, oh, we have this sort of story idea for a future game, but they might drop that, and then it might just be like a side quest that you can easily miss. Because Monolith loves its missable side quests.
Yeah. Yep. Tyrea. I played Future Connected right after the base game, so I was a little burned out by then, so if anybody else might want to, you know, have a little break in between, but it was still enjoyable. I mean, I'm still kind of more partial to Torna, but they kind of did some ridiculous things with Torna, so I shouldn't have put it on that same level, but It's still really enjoyable for what it is. Future Connected.
It really is.
Yeah. I like it.
It's good.
It helps make the base game even better, which is kind of what Torna did too. Mm-hmm. Torna made the base Xenoblade 2 game even better. It added a lot to Pyra and Mithra. Mm-hmm. And in this game, it adds a lot to the conclusion of Melia's story, so I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it gives her a happy end. It gives her, like, after all the loss she suffered, it's like, you lost your brother, you lost your father, you lost your mother way before this. Here, you gain a sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You gain a sis, and, you know, people now accept you.
And they accept you as you. They don't accept you as, like, this symbol.
Which, I think that's so cool. Because I actually really like that plot point about how so many people, they weren't ready to accept Melia the way she was. Mm. And that's just yet another thing that was weighing on that poor girl.
Yeah, and then the coronation at the end, and she isn't wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also helps symbolize the idea that, like, the Hyantia are ready to let go of old traditions and adapt to a new world. Mm-hmm. So, that's very nice.
It is.
So, yeah, we at XenoChat approve of Future Connected.
I give it a thumbs up.
I give it a 5 stars on Kotaku.com.
Does Kotaku even use stars?
I don't. What does it use? I don't know. What the hell are
Actually, I don't even think
games?
they give games review scores, but I haven't been on Kotaku in a while.
Oh.
So don't
What the
quote
hell
me
are
on
video
that one.
games? I've never played a video game in my life.
Yeah, what's even a video game?
I give it a Monado out of a Zohar.
Nice.
I give it 3 feeling this is it.
Okay, well now that we have that, the review of Future Connected done, and since this is our season 2 finale of XenoChat, let's kind of look back and kind of discuss what our favorite episodes were this season, because we had, I think it was about 13 episodes, not counting this one, for this season. So what were your guys' favorite episodes this season?
Let's see. I'm gonna say my favorite episode was the Sitanizuki one because I just really liked. Like we had been talking about, we should really do some sort of collab with Retrograde Amnesia, and then we did, and it was just like so nice to have an idea exist and happen. And it was a delight. I mean, all of them have been delights to listen to, but it was just really exciting to be like, wow, my 2 favorite podcasts got together and made an episode.
Aw, we're your favorite podcast.
I can't gush about this podcast because I'm in it now. Now I can only say bad things about it.
Oh. Yeah, but that was great, because Chris and Eric were great guests, and I love Retrograde Amnesia.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm very thankful that they came on to spend some time with us.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to do another episode with them, and it would be nice to be in it, but also, if I don't make sense in it, then I should not be in it. What about you two, though? You're the actual hosts.
Right, my favorite episode. I actually really liked the holiday special, the Waifu Husbando Wars. That one was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
We had a lot of really, crazy... Well, actually, I shouldn't say crazy, but we had a lot of, weird episodes that ended up making for a great time. That was a great one. I really liked the Katsucon wrap-up. I love recording that. Why We Love Xenoblade
was fun. The anime watch was interesting.
Yes, it sure was.
We have to revisit the anime, not soon, but relatively soon, before our victim plays Xenosaga.
Yes. That's a potential preview for a upcoming episode.
Yes.
But yeah, we had some really good ones.
Yeah.
The Queer Theory one was a great one too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was going to be Tyler's favorite episode or not, but I know I really like that one.
Oh yeah, it's
I had a lot of
definitely one of my favorites. I'm glad we were finally able to do it, because I think we'd been planning it for over a year.
Yeah, it would be nice to revisit that, because I know there's a lot that we missed out on, and I also would just love to hear more people's interpretations of things, and either include them in the episode or at least give a nod to them. I mean, as we stressed in that episode, there's no real wrong way of looking at a thing in this context.
Exactly.
So, and what we really didn't want to do is just be like, hey, I headcanon this, and then everybody goes in a circle and says you're valid.
Yeah.
Which, while a great way to, make friends, is not a great podcast.
Yeah, and I also liked our interview with Purple Shaw and Anime VV. They were great guests to talk
that was
to.
really good. Yeah, when you told me to pick a favorite, I was looking down the list. I'm like, that was a great episode. It's my favorite. Wait, that was a great episode. It's my favorite. Wait, that's a great episode. So
yeah, our second season was really, really good.
I mean, I was able to skip through the drunken anime watch. I'm like, that one was not my favorite.
Aww.
Might have been my favorite to record, not my favorite to listen to.
Yeah, it was way too fun to record.
Alright. And what was your guys' favorite episode of Season 2? I liked that too. I just decided to thoroughly explore the show a little bit.
Yeah.
Give the audience a chance to tell me their favorite, and I can just say, yes, that was also my favorite.
Yeah, definitely let us know what your favorite episode of Season 2 was.
Yeah.
Or just your favorite episode in general. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know. Just be like, yeah, I really enjoyed the Cosmos episode. Or, hey, your Shulk episode, that sucked. Like, tell us how you feel about the episodes we're putting out, or the content.
Exactly.
Or let us know if you like any of us, or if you hate the way we sound on this podcast.
Oh,
Please don't let me know that. I'll cry.
I already know I hate the way I sound.
I will send you a video of me crying.
Oh. But yeah, if you guys, and also we're always, even though we have like a huge backlog of ideas, definitely hit us up if there's some topic you'd like us to cover, and we'll look it over and maybe add it to our list of ideas for the future episodes.
Yeah. We have no shortage of plans.
Oh, yeah. And if you have any ideas...
Future ideas are ridiculous.
Yeah, and if you have any ideas for episodes, also feel free to let us know that, too, because we're always looking for new episode ideas.
If you'd like to be on an episode, say so. We'll probably say sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only qualification is basically
we're
being a
always
Xeno fan.
Down for more people. The more the merrier on XenoChat.
Exactly.
And it's also fitting that Robin's here with us for the Season 2 recap episode. I guess that's what we're calling it. Because Robin joined in Season 2.
I did. After meeting you at Anime NYC and then tearfully talking about how much this show had, like, helped me feel like I had friends, and then I joined here and now I have friends, and then stole a roommate from here.
Yeah.
Aww.
Funny how so much can happen in a short amount of time.
Because I went back and was going through the chain of events. And I'm like, this started because I posted Xenosaga art on DeviantArt and met Kat. So yeah, just go shitpost on every form of media. You never know what will happen.
Exactly, or feel free to bug us about it. I am always down to have new people. I don't bite that hard, so...
Oh, how disappointing, sir.
Oh,
that's the sound of Tyler dying. Tyler has died.
Yeah, I just died. Alright, I think at this point it'd probably be best if we wrap things up in case my connection gets even worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so yeah, let's go around, and if there's anything you guys want to share, any projects, social media, let's do so. Robin, how about you go first this time?
I moved into a new apartment, so I should have more time for hobbies now. I hope to actually update my Redbubble store to have more than literally one design.
Oh, yes.
So if I do that, I'll be sure to post that and then promote that.
Your mask is adorable.
Also send me pictures of Dixon.
Yeah, because their mask on Redbubble is really cute, Robin.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's just Shion and Cosmos holding hands. That's my only design so far.
I still might share it in the show notes.
You can, but hopefully when this is out, maybe I'll have 2 designs. Ooh. Here's a hint. The second one will be Luca from Chrono Cross Trigger. Chronos Trigger.
Yeah, Bot really wants my money. Robin really wants my money. That's where it comes down to.
Alright, how about you, Justin?
Honestly, if I could give them away for free, I probably would. I don't care about the money. I'm just I know the joy of finding rare merchandise and being like, oh my god, you see me! Yeah,
Robin made me a Luca keychain, and I was so happy about that. I still have it, in my room. I have it on display, and it's so cute. It makes me smile all the time, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for my keychain.
But as for projects, I'm working on the usual grind. I'm working on a review right now for a game that isn't out yet, and I would say what it is, but I am under embargo, so unfortunately, I'm going to leave it as game that isn't out yet, but is coming out in a couple days. So I'm working on that review. Otherwise, I've just been trying to play some games. I've been trying to play the Yakuza games. I just finished Kiwami 2, right before we started recording.
Oh, nice.
So I'm trying to get through those because 7's coming out this year. Also trying to get through Atelier Ryza because the sequel to that's coming out this year as well.
Oh gosh, is that
And then I want to
year?
eventually get to... Yeah, that's this year.
Oh my gosh. I'm so high.
And then I want to eventually get to Fire Emblem Three Houses since everybody's telling me to play it. Everybody says it's really good. So
it is so good.
Hopefully I can get to that this year.
I am a newbie, but that's what I'm playing right now, and I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought.
And what are you up to?
Oh,
Tyler?
yeah, when I'm not editing this podcast, let's see, I'm still writing articles. I'm also, maybe by the time this is out, I'm also going to be on an episode of RPG Fans Podcast, Retro Encounter. But other than that, yeah, I've just been delving into Fire Emblem Three Houses and loving it. But that's it from me. Alright, anyway, as far as how XenoChat will be for Season 3, our first episode for that will...
We're gonna have a baby.
Wait, say that again?
We're having a baby.
Having a baby?
It's Season 3, we gotta spice it up. Someone's either having a baby or dying.
Oh god.
We gotta jump the shark this season.
The baby will have a wedding and then die. I don't know.
Jesus. What? Well, we have some plans for Season 3. Not a baby or a death, but we've got some plans.
We're adding a laugh track.
A laugh track.
Adding a laugh track.
Oh god. Well, now I'm gonna put a laugh track right.
It should be something more wholesome. Let's say something like we're gonna adopt a pet.
Yeah, okay, we can adopt a pet, sure.
Yeah.
And the pet's gonna have a laugh track.
The pet can have a laugh track.
Every time it...
Excellent.
Yeah, makes it sound... It's not just laugh track.
Yeah, other things say meow or bark. This one just laugh track.
But...
We're adopting a choo-choo from a choo-choo rescue.
But yeah, we will have our personal stories episode. It will be, I guess, our season premiere for Season 3. And then we'll see what happens from there. I know we had a poll for an episode a while back, but we'll have to wait and see once we've discussed and scheduled some stuff. But just be sure to check us out on Twitter or email us. Both should be in the show notes. But yeah, thanks to you two for joining me.
But Tyler, I'm too lazy to look at the show notes. What's our email?
Oh. It is XenoChatPodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, I'm too lazy to do that. What's our Twitter?
Our Twitter is at Xeno_chat, but Xeno is spelled with a Z because the X was taken.
Okay, now I'm not too lazy for those. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for asking. Alright, well, thanks for joining me, and thanks, listeners, for sticking with us for 2 years. It's kind of weird to say that, but we've been around for 2 years now.
Yep. Hopefully we'll be able to do this for the 3rd season.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Alright. Well, yeah, thank you guys, and
hopefully our next year we won't be doing this during a plague. That would be nice.
yeah,
That would be very nice.
yeah, I want to do another Katsucon or another get-together of some kind in person.
Another meetup, like even a small meetup at this point.
Yeah. It's like we all meet each other, we all become better friends, and we can't see each other again.
Yeah, it was
wild times.
Life's fun.
It was very lucky. Very lucky, though.
It was very fortunate, yes.
Alright, well, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Save the game?
Do we have to say something?
It's like, quick, say the first thing on your mind. Don't say penis, don't say penis, don't say penis. Fuck!
I'm glad you're trying to give us more bloopers.
Nah.